You've heard me talk about Squares golf shoes and how they help you hit the golf ball further. And many of you are saying, oh, come on, Faldo, give us a break. How is that possible? But yes, they do. And it's proven with science.
What we noticed with the Square shoes was the shoe keeps the pressure in a more stable fashion towards the inside of the trail heel, allowing pressure to get to the lead side, generating much more club and speed and distance gain.
Visit squares.com. Change your shoes, change your game. Squares, the distance golf shoe.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices, including Alexa, yes. And be sure to follow us on the social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and subscribe with us on YouTube as well for Big's Golf Talk TV. BGT-TV, yes, that's what we are. This segment is sponsored by the Distance Shoe. Squares shoes, proof, not promise. And yes, they have squares for the ladies. So be sure to check out squares.com. That's SQAIRZ.com. Bill the Golffather Cuevas with Big John Quick. And Billy, I got to tell you, for the longest time, you know how we feel about the Folds of Honor. And you know how we feel about a company called Puma, who has introduced the Volition line. And now they have expanded Volition into many different things. And we're going to talk with them in just a few moments, but I want to tell you a little bit about Volition. Volition America is leading a movement of proud unity, empowering Americans to understand the value of choice, not just on special holidays, but throughout the calendar year, Bill the Golffather Cuevas. In collaboration with leading active lifestyle brands, Volition America is growing its product offering as it's build a community of loyal followers while leading a movement to unite Americans through their shared patriotic values. Volition America has a commitment to supporting the children and spouses of fallen American heroes by donating a percentage of all proceeds to the Folds of Honor Foundation. And if you want more information, well, we're about to give you more information about Volition America. Bill the Golffather Cuevas, you happen to have something special in your possession from Volition America as they partnered up with Revo sunglasses.
Yes, I was happy when I got them. They got 4 different styles. Why don't you show the picture of my favorite? There you go. Those are my favorite. I absolutely love those. And the thing was, like you brought up in the beginning, I actually thought for years that it was just Volition America was Pumas, Cobra and Puma. Yeah, I thought they owned it and stuff like that. And I had no clue that it was actually the brand until recently when you started seeing them come out with Wilson, and we got more products that we're going to go. So it's actually his brand is Volition America, and he's expanding it into all these different golf, baseball, and sunglasses and everything else. And the whole purpose is to I'm hoping to become the #1 donor for the Folds of Honor. So I mean, who doesn't want that, man? We can't leave anyone behind. Leave no spouse, no child, no nothing. We both have been part of the Folds of Honor from probably the very beginning, before it has blown up. I mean, they're on ketchup packets, they're on barbecue sauce, they're everywhere. And it's still not enough. And even during the pandemic, we know how it works over there. And leaving anyone behind. As a matter of fact,
we just got news that a lieutenant colonel of the Air Force, a New Mexican resident, has just passed away and had died overseas. So it's never going to be enough. As long as we have men and women defending our country, it's never going to be enough, because we do lose people on a daily basis, whether it's a part of the 22 or whether it's a part of them in the act of defending our freedom.
Absolutely.
It's just the way of life of America right now, and for that they leave a family behind. And that
And
family needs to be looked over. I mean, there's just not enough benefits from our government to take care of that family, and that's where folks
yeah, you see,
comes in.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're close with the Greeny and everything. We love Greeny. That's the
Yeah,
son of Brock Buckland. We're
first recipient of the Folds of
first
Honor.
recipient, Major Ed. We very close with the Bucklands and everything. So we have a
Yes.
close connection to it. And even with that, Brent, I mean, we can't leave anyone. And with, people donating, and we get in companies that are doing millions of dollars, and it's still not enough to get everyone. I mean, the stuff that you got scientists out there that couldn't have become scientists if they didn't get those scholarships. You got these wives out there that are pushing hard. Wesley Vargas, she's out there. I mean, her daughters are recipients. Just
Bill,
watching them.
we could go on and on and
Yeah,
on
yeah,
about
yes.
this, but our guest is in agreement right now, and he's ready to come on the air and talk
Yes.
about their brand, Volition America. You want to talk about a brand that has stepped up to help our military families and our veterans. John Sapiente is joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk from the Volition headquarters. John, welcome into Biggs Golf Talk, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is great.
Oh, this is awesome. It's a long coming for Volition America to be on this show. Bill the Godfather and I, we own Volition apparel in our closets, and
Thank you.
and certainly wear that with pride, anytime we're on the golf course or even out and about. And what I like about about your company is it's just not special occasions. You want people to wear this all throughout the calendar year.
365 days a year. That's what we're all about.
And this show is on Saturday, right? And we got, what weekend is this? The 4th of July weekend.
It is. It's a big
Yes.
weekend.
You know what I mean? What a great way to celebrate. We do a lot of stuff, whether it be the Patriot, Patriot Days, Patriot Cups. I want every day to be it. And he knows we've been talking about that forever. Why be quarantined for a weekend, for a week here? We need to represent every day, all day, and never forget, man. And that's the thing, is people like you. I would love to know how you got started with Volition. What made you come up with it? What's your connection to the Folds? Everybody knows ours, but we want to know yours.
I gotta rewind back to 2013 to kind of give you how I got involved. And it's nice to hear you guys are so active in Folds and support it. It's a Gold Star charity that I was lucky enough to be introduced to. But 2013, I was probably one of those Americans that took the military and what they do for us for granted. And I was invited to a Folds of Honor event in Inverness, Illinois. And they were, I'm one of the few people that the first time I met Dan Rooney didn't fall under his spell, but he's an amazing guy, which we'll get into in a minute, and you guys know.
Yeah.
But they were auctioning off a round of golf with Craig Stadler. And I just wanted to play golf with the Walrus, and I thought it was cool, so I bought it. What I didn't realize, and it sounds like you guys have attended as well, it was at the Patriot Cup, which is Folds of Honor's home course, the Patriot, and it was on Memorial Day. And so I went down to play my round of golf with Stadler, and ultimately spent the weekend with the military and their families, and, all of a sudden had this eye-opening experience that, holy cow, I missed this for 45 years of my life. And everything these people do for us, and the luck I have of running my business, and Memorial Day to me was a day to play golf and barbecue. Maybe it wasn't recognizing what these people did for us. So I came out of that all in, as Dan Rooney says. I was all in, and whatever he needed, and I became a Folds of Honor donor, an active donor that not only gave my money but gave my time and networking. And Dan and I became really good friends. And the brainchild behind Volition America is Dan Rooney, not me. Dan and I were at Ravinia in Chicago, which is a outdoor concert. We're watching Darius Rucker. He calls me Sap. He said, short for Sapiente. He said, "Hey, Sap, do you know what volition means?" And I said, "No." And Dan's always preaching and inspirational. And so I thought it was a life lesson. And he said, "Volition is the most powerful word in the English dictionary. You can love to hate. You can be happy, sad, whatever you choose. Use your volition to make the best choice you can to live your life." I'm like, "Okay, great, Dan." He said, "Well, I would like to start a company called Volition America, choosing America, and a percentage of everything we sell goes back to Folds of Honor." He said, "The only problem I have is I cannot use Folds of Honor donor money to start a business. So will you guys," and there's a couple other Folds of Honor donors involved, "would you guys fund this business and start it?" And that's the brainchild behind it. Ultimately, my background is I have 2 manufacturing businesses I run. So the business model really was an evolution of my availability of time to build a business and how to scale it and bring it to market as fast as we could. Starting it from scratch was a little daunting to go to figure out how to make clothes. And I'll tell you, there was 2 funny, I don't know if they're funny, but 2 aha moments that really got the brand on the trajectory it was. And Dan Rooney, for those of you who don't know, is a Air Force pilot. He's actually a professional golfer turned through tour duty fighter pilot. And he said, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on air, but I'm gonna. He said, I want a shit hot hat, glasses, t-shirt, belt buckle, and jeans. So he basically wanted me to make Tom Cruise and Top Gun, but sent me off on my merry way to go. And I don't know anything about clothes. I don't know how to bring anything to market. I mean, I know how manufacturing.
Right.
But my first thing that really was an aha moment was jeans. And then when I point this out, you guys are all going to go, oh, okay. If you're walked in a jeans store, you got long jeans, short jeans, skinny jeans. So I'm looking at it from how do I know what to make and how am I going to inventory this? I don't know what I'm doing. And then the second moment is I talked to a pretty big brand CEO, and he was talking about the design side of the business. And he wanted to, he was saying when he was designing clothes his first year, everything was wrong. He said, I didn't know what I was doing. The cuts were wrong. The buttons, I'm going to do that all wrong. So it really became apparent to me that I'm not going to figure this out for a long time. And I need a partner that actually understands manufacturability, design, the whole concept of how to bring it to market. And we were going to go sell it. And the second aha moment for us was we pivoted to golf because Folds of Honor is so big in golf. And ultimately, if you know golf, it's all pro shop sales. It's a lot of e-commerce, but there's really, they call it green grass, but it's who's carrying the 40 polos around pro shop to pro shop. I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
So that's when it dawned on me that we have a really great message. The logo, of those of you who don't know, it's the Folds of Honor folded flag logo in the middle, and there's wings on it, which ultimately symbolize us lifting it up and taking it places that it normally wouldn't go. And so the brand, the messaging, the DNA, the authenticity of the brand is unbelievable. We needed a partner. And we started networking. We met the Puma guys. They fell in love with it. And we partnered with them in the golf line, which you guys have all seen now. It's been every year it doubles in sales. And it's really about getting the word out to the market of what we are. And it's not just a clothing line. It's something that you put on. And Dan Rooney calls it his uniform for life. It's that badge means something when you stand up and wear it. And that's how we got here. And the business model ultimately is to find like-minded companies that believe in what we stand for, which is power of choice, bringing people together through positive decisions, and ultimately giving back to those that gave us the power of choice. That's Volition.
That's it. And you want to see Volition this weekend? When I was golfing, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I golfed this weekend, and I don't know I don't know if the camera does it justice over there.
Yeah.
But you see what was
up on your shoulders.
That's not me. Somebody else. That's why I'm the one that took the picture. It's in my phone. I took the picture as he's walking away, and
it's amazing on the support we see. And when you talk to people about Volition, what does it mean to them, and all that, they are under the assumption that Puma owns Volition America, and that's the only brand that produces Volition America apparel. And, this is why this is so good that we have you on the show, not just to talk about the Revo partnership and the Wilson partnership, but to let them know you are a separate brand away from what Puma does offer. Yeah, you partner up with Puma to produce this stuff, but you're a separate brand that is trying to spread a message about Volition America.
I'm basically, in my opinion, we're trying to build a movement of and spread the word. And the easiest way to do that is to find large partners with large audience, and we're calling a brand coalition of bringing all these brands together and all these audiences together to help spread this word. And that's kind of the idea behind it. So we were fortunate enough to meet the Wilson team 2019. The business model has always been to grab various partners in various sectors, but Puma was our first, and we're incredibly loyal. They've been incredible partners, but we went in there with a a logo and an idea, and they fell in love with it. So they've really helped build this brand. I mean,
whose idea was it to go to Puma? Was it your idea? Was it Dan's idea?
We were talking to 5 or 6 different brands within the golf space, and we met. And one of the guys on our team, Gary Sims, actually facilitated the meeting, and then we got in front of the CEO of Puma, and he just got it right away. But yeah, it was a great partnership right out of the gate. I think there was a lot of learning curve about understanding how to get the message out. And then 2019, we were introduced to Wilson, and it was supposed to be a 2020 spring launch, and we all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah,
right.
So that got bumped down the road. But they just rolled out last week, multiple across all baseball brands. DeMarini, there's the glove, the A2000 Wilson glove, the DeMarini bats, the Evo Shield protective gear. So they're going to do a Old Glory launch, which is all red, white, and blue. And then in August, they got a second launch coming called Black Ops, which will all be blacks and grays and camos and super cool.
Did anybody tell you, Mr. Sapp?
I gotta call Joe West. I gotta call my boy Cowboy and see if he's getting any West vest with some Volition on it, and maybe a face mask with Volition on it.
We were talking to Wilson when we first started, and they had the All-Star game in 2020, and they were going to put the catchers in protective gear, Volition America protective gear, which would have been unbelievable. And then they had the All-Star game because of COVID.
You want to do the umpires?
I know. I'm all in.
Did somebody tell you about the background of one of us here?
No.
I don't know.
Well,
one of us, you could pick which one. One of us was a professional umpire at one time, and now runs Albuquerque's high schools and stuff like that.
I assigned the varsity and lower level high school.
But now he ruined it. He told you which one of us was the one that is highly connected in the baseball world. You know what I mean? So we thought it was neat when we were looking at it, and they said, "Hey, what would you think about this?" And I was like, you know what? You know how Dan's always synchronicity.
Absolutely.
When we were looking at all the stuff that we didn't know existed, I was like, you know what? Well, we
by the way, I just want to give a shout out to one person out there that will love this glove. Jason Sherpak, one of our loyal listeners. His kid plays travel baseball.
Yeah.
Jason, get online and get this glove from Wilson.
Check this glove,
brother.
It's a beauty.
Give it back.
We haven't seen pictures of the bat and everything, but I'm sure after this we're going to have more, because we want to have you on, John, plenty of more times after this as the brand continues to expand. Great. We want to touch everything. But so now we got Wilson. We have Puma. You said something about jeans, and we see some more stuff back there, or maybe you have a little insight. Who else?
Well, we're working on. We signed a deal with Revo. So those of you guys remember Revo. And we talked about Jim McMahon earlier, so his favorite player. So it's kind of fun to go to Revo and do a partnership, and hopefully we'll get Jimmy Mack and some Revo Volition glasses.
Oh, I'm sure that'd be awesome.
I'm sure he will.
Expecting a contract today from Luminox, the watch company.
Yes.
So they are going to be joining our brand family. We're working on fishing space. We're working on the hunting space. We're working on some grilling space. Ultimately,
he's the griller. He's the griller.
We're going to have apparel. We're going to have various products, various sectors. And what these brands are doing is they're not creating new product that, they're really taking their best selling products, and I call it volitionizing them.
Yeah.
But they're ultimately putting the label on, and this is what we stand for. And it allows the consumer to say, this means something to me. It resonates with me, and I want to know people know how I feel, and put it on and wear it. So it goes back to Dan Rooney's uniform for life.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't understand is, like, you have companies that will back the foes and do that similar stuff what you're doing. And it's not that they're charging more. Like you said, these are just products that they have. They're putting a meaning and a purpose behind it. And they're saying, you know what, guys, when you buy this, we're going to support this brand. We're going to support our fallen. We're going to make sure no child, no spouse is left behind.
And what a great win-win situation, right? I mean, you're buying things that you want to use, You know, my father-in-law, who's happened to be the president of the Folds of Honor New Mexico chapter, you know, synchronicity, that's what brought me and my wife together, was the Folds of Honor. But you want to talk about volition? I mean, I'm living it. And, you know, it's a volition here in New Mexico and Albuquerque area. And, you know, my father-in-law, who loves to fish, who loves to cook out, you know, I love to cook out. I love to fish. I
And he
love
grows.
baseball. You know, here in New Mexico, we're in the upper levels. You know, we're in an elevation of 10,000 feet above sea level. We certainly need sunglasses.
Right.
I live in Florida, so you know I need sunglasses.
Right.
I wear
Absolutely.
I even wear them inside the house. So yeah, we're all good.
So
The
you
other
think
area-
about all these things
Mhm.
and these things that we use in our everyday life, and we could support a good cause as well.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the other thing we're trying to do is, so, you know, we started this in 2016, and I've been talking about bringing people together and uniting people through the power of volition, because it's even beyond choosing America. The word volition to me really resonates.
Yes.
The power to, you can do anything in your life if you, with your own volition. And
Mhm.
I played a video for my kids and said, look, this is it. If you understand this, you can do anything you want. So having people you can't do something, if you choose to do it, you can do it. And so back in 2016, I was talking about how people can use their volition and come together, and it doesn't matter. And that's what makes our country so great, is that you can have different opinions, and that's what makes us who we are, as a democracy. And we can come together with good decisions and listening to each other. So I've been talking about uniting for 4 or 5 years, and then I watched the Super Bowl, and every brand jumped on uniting, and it kind of bothered me, because it was words, and now I sounded like another brand that was saying the same thing. So one of the things we're trying to do is put our money behind our mouth, basically, but start events. So we did some 5Ks and half marathons that we did, but we're trying to start fishing tournaments, and we're working on, you know, like a Volition Cup. I'm talking to a tennis company right now, and potentially with the USTA and the USPTA, about a national Volition Tennis Day. And so bringing the community together, not with just with brands, but truly starting a movement where people really understand it. And it's been really humbling to watch this thing evolve, because all I've done is take a great idea and put a business model around it. But there's a lot of benefits to it. I think what I like most about it, even our brand ambassadors, they're all in. So I don't know, we didn't get to it briefly, but Gary Woodland wears it every day on the tour. And I don't know if people know this, but Gary's contract ended with Under Armour, and he was between contracts.
Right.
And he came to Dan Rooney and said, do you guys mind if I wore Volition on the tour? So he didn't sign a contract and say, you know, pay me and I'll wear it. He said, I love Folds of Honor, and I love what the brand stands for, and would you mind if I wore it on tour? And of course, we're a small brand with it. Yeah.
And he also, and we're going to continue on this conversation, but we're going to break away here on the radio side, because I know we're up against the clock here on the radio side. And if you want more information about Volition America, they have their very own website at www.volitionamerica.com. But we're going to continue here on the TV side. So more Biggs Golf Talk coming your way on the radio side right after this. We're continuing on here on BGT-TV, and we're talking with John Sapiente here on Biggs Golf Talk, or as Noonan would say, Sap.
Yeah.
But one thing about Gary Woodland, and we had the opportunity to interview Gary here on the program, and talk to him. What a great person he is, and how giving he is. I mean, what he did at the waste management with that girl, and it was unbelievable. And to have him a part of Volition America certainly has to make you proud, John. And you know, the one thing about Gary, and I know he was like at the end of his contract, and also, you know, with Will, he still got Wilson on his contract and everything else. But he went to Wilson and says, "Hey, I want to wear this to support our troops," and Wilson was all on board with that as well.
Yeah. So the Volition Puma relationship started with him just wearing it.
Yeah.
And actually in the PGA in 2018, he wore a Folds of Honor hat, and he wore a Volition shirt, and he got in the finals of Tiger. And he didn't win that year, but it was amazing to us to see, as people understood what it was, how people start buying the product left and right. And so validated for us that the message was what people wanted and people loved the product. So
Mhm.
that was the start of it. And then so they signed him in 2019, and then he ends up going and winning the U.S. Open. And I don't know if you guys know, I told this, I was on a podcast last week, and I told the story, but 13 is a lucky number in our brand. And
Mhm.
those of you involved in foals know Dan Rooney's all about 13 because there's 13 foals in the flag.
Do you see the
There you go.
13? I got
There you go.
the 13. It's always there somewhere. There it is.
Yeah, I see it.
So
I actually changed my uniform number, my umpire
He's
uniform
13.
number to 13.
Wow.
we're,
So
we're,
we
we're
give-
all in. We know.
We
We
give
know
13%
exactly.
of our revenue to Folds of Honor because of
13 is a
So-
magnificent number. Yes.
that. Right. So here we are on 18, and those of you who watch the U.S. Open, and Woodland is 12 under, and he hits it on the green in 2, and he's got 45 feet, and all he has to do is 3-putt to win the U.S. Open. He makes it 13 under, and it was unbelievable. It's all over the place. You'll see products. We've got some products coming out with 13 in it, built into it. It's
Nice.
part of our brand DNA. We're trying to turn 13 from an unlucky number to a
Yeah.
lucky number.
I always tell everybody it's lucky 13. It's not unlucky. It's what we
Right.
make of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And while 13 folds of the flag, what it represents, the point is that we're making sure that those families are taken care of. You know what I
You
mean?
got
We get to do this show because we have people defending our country. My daughter served 4 tours already.
Wow.
She's still in the military. My other daughter just graduated from high school. She's going into the Army. So you get all these things, and that's what hooked me when my first daughter, we signed her at 6. She was 16 going 17. We waited to 17. She graduated, and we had to sign her in because she was underage. But she really wanted to support our country, and she
Wow.
still does. She does a magnificent job. She's actually currently getting her master's so she can become a captain chaplain for the Army. So she knows about the foals. She's helped support the foals, and I'm proud of what she does and what she represents. And I always was afraid, what happens if she doesn't come home? So that's why he knows I threw everything I had right into the fold because I don't want to be them. When I got her kids, I watched them. I don't ever want to be, have them. Oh, I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to do that. And with the foals, people don't understand that one scholarship is huge.
Right.
We've seen scientists grow from inside the folds of honor, doctors, book writers. I mean, it's not like, oh, they go and they do. No, these kids are coming back, and now they're part of the folds, and now they're extending the folds
Right.
family, and they're growing into, huge people in the community that are supporting the cause because we gave them the opportunity when the folds was just growing, and now that it's grown, we continue to grow along with it. And it's been great watching them grow.
It is.
Well,
It is really a good thing to watch them grow. And John, I really want to talk about and not miss out on some of the apparel and the message behind the apparel as well. As we seen Gary Woodland and wear this apparel, and all of a sudden I seen America down the back of his shirt. I was like, I have to have one of those shirts. That is the most patriotic shirt I have ever seen. Gotta have one. But I thought to myself, that looks cool. That looks cool having America down the back of your spine.
Yep.
However, there's a message behind that, and there's a backstory behind
Right.
why that's there, and I never knew about it all these years.
Well, Rooney's a fighter pilot, so the idea has been around building a brand that is military-inspired clothes, not just all red, white, and blue, not all patriotic. And so it's got some fighter pilot side to it. It's got some military side. And Dan, those of you who know Dan, is a super creative guy. So we have infused into the brand a lot of military terms, a lot of military meanings, whether it's patches, whether it's how to design things that look military inspired. And one of the things that Dan talked about was adding a check 6 line to our line. And the idea for a pilot, obviously, is check your 6. So you look behind you and check your 6. So his idea was we could own the spine, and the own the back of apparel was that we added a check 6 line. So it's our CHK 6 line. And if you look in the background there, the word goes right down your spine, America. So we've got different inspiring terms, whether it's Volition, America, freedom, down your spine. And we are going to incorporate that in different things. Like we had talked to Puma, Wilson, about catcher's gear and maybe making like a carbon fiber catcher's helmet that looks like a fighter pilot's helmet. And
Oh,
so you
wow.
will see very cool, inspired things coming. And
Umpire.
what's that?
Umpire.
We'll work on the umpire.
Umpire. I'm sorry,
I'll
my
send
nose
this
was
to
running.
Wilson after I'll send a link to this and say,
You
there's
know
an
what?
umpire market.
Umpires are everywhere.
All
You
right.
know, from the little kids growing up all the way to the big kids. You got so
And
much that you can tap in.
the one thing about umpires, and just in the last few years, there's several organizations that are actually training veterans
Yes.
to be officials.
That's great.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, Santana, just came from Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy, and
That's super
umpire
cool.
provided all the gear, all the stuff free to these veterans, as they should, right? Because they have done something, they have defended our freedom, and they are now trying to do something in civilian life. And now we're training them to become baseball umpires or basketball officials or football officials, but it's such a big thing that I know the umpire community are huge supporters of our military and really appreciate the freedoms that we have, as we can walk on that baseball diamond and have for the front row seat to the best game in America.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back in time, which was really appealing to me, in the 40s, they canceled everything but baseball during World War II because it was a uniter and something that brought people together. I'm like, how do I not partner with Wilson, which is the brand in baseball, in Baseball's America? So that was super cool that we were trying to do it. But, I hope to have all sorts of different things coming. One of the things I hope we have here in the fourth quarter is a Volition America marketplace, which ultimately will be one place to log in and see everything. All the brand partners. We're going to come out with some of our own stuff too. But it's been a really humbling thing to see. And I said this to a friend of mine. We were in LA. It was like 2017. And I said, the day I walk through the airport and see someone walk by me with a shirt on or with something Volition, I'll be in awe. And now it's all over the place and
everywhere.
It's pretty cool.
Here's a product idea, and I'm not going to charge you for this idea, to go back to Wilson. Mask pads.
Okay.
So not just the mask itself, but the pads could be Volition.
Oh, that'd be cool too. USA, baby.
There's an idea.
I don't know about you guys, but the only reason I want to cut this short, and it's not short, it's actually long, because you have a lot of stuff coming out, and we want to have you on again. We want to entice our people to come back and look at more. I want to get more in depth in the hats. I want to get that bag that you have sitting over there in blue. It looks like a shoe bag.
And that's a good point, because Volition America doesn't have red, white, and blue, but they also have digital camo apparel as well, and different things. I certainly own a red Volition America shirt in my closet. Remember Everyone Deployed, that has F-16 planes on it and the Volition signal.
They make great gifts for everybody too. That's what I love. You saw that guy in the front that was wearing.
Before you cut me off, one of the things that we've been trying to do as a brand is not have everything RWB. So we're introducing blacks and tans and whites and different things that are Americana and feel military inspired, but you don't have to be all red, white, and blue to wear Volition. And I got something coming, or we got something coming Memorial Day next year that I think will shock and awe. I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. It was Rooney's idea, and it is unbelievable. It is going to be, it's going to go cross brands, and everyone's going to have it.
Well, Mr. Sapp, we got to have him on.
Yes. Yeah, before we let you go, because there's one thing we do want to cover, is the Volition driver that you guys have out. Now, is this already on the market?
It is. So they made 1,000 of them. So there's the Rad Speed driver that they Volitionized, and they sold 1,000 in one day. They're all gone.
Whoa, they're all gone.
So we had a similar effect with they made a pair of shoes at Woodland War in the U.S. Open.
That's
they made 1,000 of those. They sold in 36 hours, gone. So these limited edition things they're coming out with that people are just gobbling them up, and it's super cool. So it's just really my challenge, I guess, is to get the message out so people know where it is. And I appreciate you guys having me on to do this, because it's really introducing the brand to people and knowing that, like we came out with a white shirt and with our logo. And at first year it didn't sell. And my challenge was I don't understand why, because why would I buy the other white shirts when mine has so much meaning on the logo?
Right.
And it was really teaching people what the logo is. And now they're seeing it, and it's an easy thing for them.
Once they know the meaning, they will come. Exactly. Yeah. That's all they need is to get the meeting out.
John Sapiente, Sap, thank you so much for joining us here on Big's Golf Talk. Looking forward to the next time, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to go work on my umpire outfits.
There you go.
You're out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bill the Godfather Cuevas, I got to tell you, man, Volition America really knocking out of the park. No pun intended. Oh, yeah, pun intended.
Grand slam. It's a grand slam.
A home run.
Home run,
and
baby.
to see them partner up with Revo Sunglasses, Wilson Sports, Cobra, Puma. I mean, this just says a lot about this brand.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the fact what they're doing. I can see them being the #1 sponsor for the and #1 donor for the Folds of Honor in no time, because their reach is just going everywhere. They're tapping everything, and I can see them going into so much more. You got bowling that they haven't tapped, basketball. They're just scratching the surface right now, and we got a front row seat, and we're going to help spread that love and
the outdoors.
That's what it is.
The barbecuing,
cooking,
fishing, everything. They're getting it, and they're trying to launch tournaments as well. Volition America tournaments, like for fishing. And
hey, did we tell him that we travel and we do shows and everything? Maybe they want to bring us for that show. That'd be perfect. We do the first golf tournament, the first Volition America tournament. We could be there. Don't forget us, John. We love you, man.
More Big's Golf Talk coming your way. BGT-TV right after this.